Hi everyone, this is Bethany Ligon, the Technology Integration Specialist in Apache Junction, Arizona, and I am here with Shauna Hammond, who is one of our magical teachers at an elementary school, and she's going to be sharing a really neat way that she has developed for students tracking their own data using Google Sheets. So Shauna, I'm just going to go ahead and hand it over to you.
Okay, let me get my screen up here. Okay, can you see that?
I can.
Okay, so first I should say that I got this idea from something that was shared with us by our principal. As this thing is called Digital Data Notebook. So if you search YouTube, Digital Data Notebook, and it was posted by Timothy Winkleman, and it's really cute. It's these two kids who are explaining how they set up their data notebook, and they go through it and talk about what's on each page. And so this is really how I got the idea of doing this, because we've always done data notebooks, but I wanted to do something digital, and I basically stole a bunch of the ideas from this little video that these kids shared. So it's really cute. So this was what I did at the beginning of the year. I just made a template in Google Sheets, and I sent it to the students via Google Classroom, so they all got their own. And so this is just a basic template that fit my needs as an ELA and social studies teacher, but of course it could be customized however you want it. So the first page is a title page. So this would be a good thing to do the first week of school for kids to sort of, put pictures and things that tell about them so they can sort of own this. And then the second page is an About Me page. I don't know if you can see this, but for the beginning of the year, I would color code the parts where I wanted the kids to fill out because they weren't really familiar with Google Sheets yet. So that was just sort of a visual guide for them so that they could know what to fill out. So it's kind of like your favorite animal, your favorite color, just so they can, tell a little bit about themselves. And they could do this again at the end of the year and see how it's changed if they wanted to do that. And then we're really big on goal setting. So we set up a template for them to do goals every quarter, one for the ELA and one for math. We could do this any way that you wanted to, but it's just their goal, their plan, and did they achieve their goal? So we want them to get used to doing that every quarter. And I've scheduled into my calendar to remind me that I need to have them come back and do this. I do it at every progress period and at the end of each quarter.
Well, before you move on to your next one, how do you conference with the students, letting them know where they're starting at so they know how to set a goal?
Yeah, well, at the beginning of the year, I give them a sheet with, I take the time and fill out all their beginning of the year stats. And then after that, I show them how to look it up for themselves. And then, yes, and we give some suggested goals. But then after that, I sort of turn it over to them because they know what they want and they know what they need to do. And so, at the beginning of the year, we talk about it a lot. But after that, I turn it over to them. So this is goal setting. And then we have, just to give something for some numerical data. So we have STAR and DAYS testing, which we do several times a year. And so they can put this in, and this is mainly so I can show them how to do charts later, and they can see this in a graphic form. So there's numbers in here. So some of the things have to have numbers so they can see that they've made progress, and that's interesting for them. You could also do, if you do fluency times or something like that. Then on benchmarks, they're just supposed to put their, their score, at the beginning of the year is their FAME score. Now it's their proficiency score. They're supposed to enter that in, and we do a lot of talking about what those scores mean. Then I teach writing, and so we started scoring everything out of 10, like the AZ Merit rubrics. And so I give them a score the first time, and then I give them some feedback and they redo it. And so this is to show them, their progress that they make on each assignment and their progress through the year. So that's just scores in writing. And then the next tab is where they can link to their Google Doc that has their writing. So they can sort of have their own little portfolio where they're keeping track of it. Of course, they have their own, collections within Google Drive, but this is just where they can consciously think about what was the best thing that I wrote in 5th grade, and they can link it here. In Fluency, this is a really kind of a cool little site that I actually got this idea from that video. There's a site called Vocaroo where you can open it. I'll click on it. You can open it. It's very simple. You don't have to have an account or anything. It just literally records your voice. So you could be reading a passage or story or whatever, and it just records your voice. And then when you finish it, it gives you a link. And you can just copy that link, put it into the data notebook. So here they can not just have their scores, their words per minute, but they can have, hear themselves and hear, how smoothly that they're reading and those kind of things.
Do you know if, so I'm assuming Vocaroo works just fine on netbooks and Chromebooks. Is there an iPad app or?
I don't know about iPad app. I don't have iPads. I haven't tried that, but it works fine on Chromebooks. Yeah, it's really simple.
Other iOS apps.
Yeah, it looked like it might have been Flash. I didn't really notice, but I don't know. I'm sure there is some similar thing on iPad, but just, really similar. I think there is actually just the voice recording that you could probably link to, but
right.
That's how they do the fluency. I haven't really kept up with this. And my idea at the beginning of the year was that they would keep a vocabulary, keep track of the words that they learned that were associated with, content and things like that. And so some kids are still writing in their, I need to think of a better way of doing this next year. I wanted them to have their vocabulary notebook within their data notebook. Haven't really kept up with it. Some kids are just writing the words, and that's good too. But my idea originally was for them to, write definitions and that kind of stuff. But, modify and adjust. In 5th grade, they have to learn states and capitals, so that they have to memorize. So after they've taken a test, they can write the states and capitals that they've learned. If I taught math, I don't teach math this year, but this would be where you could do, the math facts they learned, or, whatever, that kind of thing. Then at the end, I just have a reflection part where they could either type a Google Doc and link to that reflection, or they could actually just write a reflection here. So, what they need to work on, just a longer form, their thoughts about how they're doing as a student and that kind of thing. So that is basically the idea of the student data notebook. I will go back and stop sharing with you.
No, I think that's terrific. And for students to be able to see their own growth over one school year. And if I know you start this with your 5th graders, but if they were to continue to do that with, in 6th grade or even on through junior high and high school, they could really see how
right.
learning progresses over time. So
right.
I think that's really great and an awesome tool that that you have taken from another teacher and modified to make it work for you. And hopefully some teachers in our district will take this idea and run with it and make it work for them as well. So Shauna, thank you so much for sharing
You're
that
welcome.
with us. And I guess that's all. So if anyone out there has questions about how to work or make a template that works for you and your students in your classroom, maybe you'll develop one for, maybe the last part of the 4th quarter of the school year and tinker with it a little bit to see how you can implement it for the beginning of next school year. If you have questions about doing that, you can contact me or you can contact Shauna. I'll put our emails at the end of the video and you can get a hold of us that way. So otherwise, have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you around campus. Take care.